This is genuinely the cruelest and most controversial reality TV show that you will ever witness.
Hi, TJ. My name is Carl, and I'm your dad.
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 Your father is in that group of men.
Oh, God.
Hello, you gorgeous donut. Imagine you were adopted and you grew up knowing nothing about your biological parents, despite you looking for years for any little piece of information about them. And the only way that you find out who your biological dad is by going on a TV show where 8 random men claim to be your father, and you have to pick the one that is actually telling the truth. And meanwhile, if you do guess right, you also win $100,000. Well, that is the concept of the cruelest TV show that we're breaking down today. Who's your daddy? And shockingly, this entire TV show was cancelled after the pilot episode. However, I have managed to get my hands on this episode, so we're gonna have a little look at it. Genuinely, I wasn't kidding when I said this is the most controversial concept in TV history. So the show centers around a woman called TJ Myers. Now, she is actually an actress and she's acted in many big movies. Now, she was adopted when she was a child and she knows nothing about her biological parents, as they were separated when she was a baby. So the TV network Fox decided to use this, terrible trauma to their advantage. They placed her in a mansion with these 8 men, with one only being her real dad, whereas the 7 other men have to basically convince her that they're the real dad, and if they do and they get picked at the end, they win $100,000 themselves. So everyone's basically just capitalizing off the trauma of TJ here. In this episode, it's TJ's job to kind of talk to all the dads one-on-one and fiddle out who she doesn't believe is her real father. And after each round, she has to eliminate some of the dads. Honestly, this is wild. It's like a really messed up version of The Traitors. So we're going to break down all of the drama that happens in this show from start to finish and how ridiculous this concept really is. We're also going to see at the end who TJ's real dad is out of all of these men. And we're also going to see the biggest bombshell the show drops on TJ, which is after this whole experiment takes place. And at the end of this episode, we're also going to discuss the fallout after this episode aired and what also happened to TJ. Get comfy because this one is going to be brutal. The episode begins by wasting no time and basically telling you straight away this is going to be insane.
There's no greater bond than that between a parent and child. What happens when that bond is broken?
I was adopted.
Did you really have to go into Adobe After Effects and do the rip emoji to make it really brutal? We're already hooked. There's no need for that. After this, we then hear from her real dad. However, his voice has been altered and his identity hidden, so we, the audience, don't know who it is.
I never wanted to give up my daughter. It was very deep in my heart.
Like, you can hear the pain in his voice here. Like, this is very real for these people. And I'm honestly so shocked that the producers thought that this would be a good idea for a TV show. Like, what were they thinking? Now, after we get this little intro sequence, the host of the show then describes the concept to us that I've already ran you through. However, the way she kind of frames it is if her and the show are doing TJ a favour.
We've recreated this woman's difficult search in a way that allows her to get to know her dad before finally being reunited with him.
Nah, not buying that, love. Honestly, I think you're bullshitting a little bit. Oh yeah, like this experiment gives her a chance to get to know her dad. No, it doesn't. She also has to get to know 7 other fake dads. Why couldn't you just give her a dad? Like, that's a great TV show in itself. Like, I'm pretty sure Davina McCall does a show that links you with people that you didn't know was in your family. Why couldn't they have just done that? Why do they have to gamify it? You're not doing this woman a favour. You're capitalising off the trauma of her. Now, before the show actually brings on TJ, we learn a little bit more about the context to her childhood. Now, she was adopted when she was 6 weeks old, so obviously she doesn't remember her biological parents. And she says that when her adopted parents got divorced at 12, that made her want to find out who her biological parents were, just a lot of change in her life. She was probably going through a lot of just, emotional kind of stuff at that point. It makes you want to, learn a little bit more about yourself. Straight away, you can tell that this isn't a joke for her, or she's not taking this, very lightheartedly. This is such an essential part in her life, and it shows how desperate she is to actually meet her dad, that she would agree to be on a TV show like this just so they can provide the opportunity to do so.
We were at a family reunion one time, and one of my aunts said something like, well, you don't even count because you're adopted. And I was like, whoa.
Now, anybody, who has been through adoption might relate to that feeling right there. Now, I can't relate on a personal level, but I can imagine it makes you feel like you don't belong. It makes you feel just so small and like you're so insignificant when in reality you aren't, because, it's not your fault that you were put in the position, of being adopted. And just listening to her, you can tell all she wants is just to feel like wanted and loved, because, it's almost like she's got this void in her life that she doesn't quite know how to fill. She then goes on to say that she knows basically nothing about her biological parents. All she knows about her dad is that he was in the military, and she very much held on to this. She even went into the military herself because she knew her biological dad was there. Very clearly, this entire situation is a big part of her life, and it's still very traumatizing for her.
I was told he does want to meet me, and I am so looking forward to filling in the rest of the blanks.
Honestly, I just want to know how the entire production crew could be filming this, right? They're there behind the camera and they haven't called off the other 7 men. Surely listening to this, you go, maybe this is a little bit messed up. Should we just tell her who our dad is straight away? I don't feel really comfortable doing this. But no, they were like, it's fine. Full steam ahead. TJ, don't worry. We've got your dad, but we're not going to tell you straight away. What do we look like? Nice people? You've read the room terribly wrong, love. TJ then eventually arrives at this mansion where she is inevitably going to meet her real father, and the first thing the host says to her is this.
It has to be one of the biggest moments of your life, is it? Yeah. Because your dad is behind that door right now.
How can the host look at her with a straight face? Honestly, this is so cruel. Your dad's behind that door right now, right? But you don't know yet, but there's also 7 other men that aren't your dad, who we've threw in just for the giggles. Just to keep you on your toes, love. Okay? We're not going to let you meet him that easy. Okay? You've got to work for it, love. They then open the doors and you can see the surprise on TJ's face that there is 8 dads, not just 1. Sorry? Okay, we're still going ahead with this. You've seen the look on her face. She's like, oh, wait, are these his mates? Wait, there's 8? I've got 8 dads. So I've went from no biological dads to 8 now. Little bit of a shock, not gonna lie. Didn't even know that was possible. I just want to know, why, as one of the dads, would you agree to come on this show? Yes, you've got the possibility of winning £100,000, life-changing money, but is it really worth it for how you're going to feel even if you do win? It's dirty money. You wouldn't appreciate it, I don't think, because you'd be like, I've just caused a woman a lot more trauma on top of our existing trauma to win this. I told a woman that was adopted at birth that I'm her real father. How could you live with yourself? Genuinely. Put that on the LinkedIn profile. You can see on some of the guys' faces that they are like, oh, why did I agree to this? This is evil. I'm such a terrible person.
Just so taken back, because I knew my dad was one of those guys.
Also, right, if you haven't seen your daughter since she was 6 weeks old, and she's clearly a lot older now, how could you hold that in? I would just be like, actually, right, thanks for reuniting with everyone. I'm just going to say hello to my daughter now. I'm not doing all this experiment, because this is pretty messed up, actually. I don't know if it's restraint or if it's just they've got his nuts in a contract so he can't. But throughout this, we constantly get little extracts of interviews from her real dad, obviously with his identity hidden, and he does seem really emotional when he's speaking.
It was an incredible moment to see her for the first time in a long lifetime dream of mine, and I'm so proud of her. To find my daughter was my main objective.
Sorry, if that man that is crying whilst maintaining eye contact with her is not her dad, he needs to be locked up. You can't cry looking at her and not be her father. I've got my eyes on you, son. If you're not her dad, me and you are going to have an issue, all right? Evil.
And it was really hard not to jump off those stairs and go down and run, hug her. She's my daughter.
Straight away, I know it's definitely not him, because he's looking away at every opportunity. Every single time she looks at him, he goes, I'm just here for the vibes and the money, really. I'm in a lot of debt. You see, you just got to pay that off. Sorry, love. Sorry. My bad. I'm a terrible person. So, don't worry, love. You can't hate me more than I already hate myself. Now, once TJ's had a full glance at all the men, they all introduce themselves.
So, gentlemen, would you please introduce yourselves?
Hi, TJ. My name is Carl. I'm from Simi Valley, California, and I'm your dad.
Oh, you better be, Coulson. You better be, you little devil. I want to make you aware, by the way, I don't know who the actual dad is. I stopped watching until the reveal just so I can get my reaction on camera. This man is playing the part very well. Otherwise, I'm going to feel terrible if that actually is her dad.
And I'm your dad.
And I'm your dad. And I'm your dad.
And I'm your dad.
And I'm your dad. And I'm your dad. And I'm your dad.
Well, one of yous is fucking lying. Actually, 7 of yous are. Only one of yous tell the truth. How could you look a woman in the face who is very clearly crying because this means everything to her and go, yeah, I'm your dad? I feel like you have to have zero empathy in you. Like, they're all just staring into our soul and being like, well, I can be your dad, right? If he's actually not here. I didn't say I was your dad. I said I'm open to being your dad. All right. Honestly, this is so crazy. Like, I don't know how she hasn't walked off yet and just, like, kind of threw something at the director of this. This is the most fucked thing ever. I can't believe this was actually shot. Surely the vibes on set must have been drastic. Like, you know, with the production team and everything. Like, after they finish a shoot, they must be like, oh, God, this is not right. Now, obviously, TJ is just so confused at this point and has no idea who her real biological dad is.
And then my attention was drawn to Charlie. And then Sam caught my attention because he kept looking down. That I thought, maybe that's my dad.
It's not him, love. Honestly, I'm going to put my neck out here. I think he's probably the least likely candidate. I can see the shame in that man's eyes that he's agreed to this. He's looking away because he can't believe that he's doing this to you. Not because he's nervous and he actually loves you. Everyone then goes inside the mansion as they've set up like a cocktail party so TJ can get to know all the dads like one-on-one a little bit more. And the most messed up thing is the production team have told the dads the information that TJ knows about her biological dad, so they can kind of use that and manipulate her with it, like the military stuff and all of that. This is honestly so cruel. And it's also important to note that none of the dads know who the real dad is as well. Again, it's basically like the traitors, but for the worst of the worst people. So now, obviously, TJ at this cocktail party is asking the men various questions to try and figure stuff out.
What 2 things would your friends say to describe you?
To a fault, honest, and willing to help.
Okay.
Bullshit. Can see that written all over you, Sam. Truthful. Oh, that's the thing that your friends would say, would you? What kind of friends are them? Liars! Just like yourself, Sam.
Giving and sensitive.
Peter's creepy.
M&M's, but I had to stop that because I was getting too fat.
My number one candy when I was a little girl was M&M's.
And you can see, obviously, she's trying to draw correlations because she has no information about her dad. And she's clutching at straws, obviously. Like, the fact that she likes M&M's and he said he likes M&M's, so she's basically, like, putting him as the favourite now. This is how little she knows about her actual biological dad. And the worst part is, you're going to see later on, the show actually knows a lot of information about TJ's biological father, and they keep that information from her and kind of like drip feed it as the episode goes on. Everything about this concept is aimed not to help TJ, but to just mess with her head.
I like hiking. I tried jogging and bicycle riding, but I like to go slower because you can absorb a lot more.
I got no feelings.
She wasn't even listening to him there. She was like, yeah, you're not me dad. If you are me dad, I just don't want a relationship because you're just boring, really. If it is him, we can just call this off right now, everyone. All right?
How would your friends describe you?
All my friends call me their best friend.
Yeah, okay, Rick. Yeah, basically, like, I don't have any best friends, but I'm everyone's best friend. That's the most main character line I've ever heard in my life. Now, after talking to all of the dads, TJ has a strong suspicion that her real dad is actually Scott.
I got such a warm, amazing feeling from Scott. He's either an Academy Award-winning actor or that was my dad.
Oh my God! That is a line that nobody should ever have to say on this earth. He's either Academy Award-winning actor. That man is my dad. Bloody hell. Again, I'm really intrigued to see when these guys have to reveal that they're not actually TJ's dad, and I want to see how they reveal it and see if they actually feel sorry at all, which is coming very soon. Now, you might be wondering how I gain access to all of these TV shows that I react to and break down on this channel. Well, I actually do this by using today's video partner, Surfshark. Listen, do you want to unlock content from over 100 countries? We've got you covered. Do you want military-grade encryption that keeps hackers, trackers, and everyone else, including your internet provider, out of your business. Covered! Surfshark is a VPN which keeps your data online private. It's basically like protection when you're going online. You wouldn't drive a car without getting insured, so why do you go on the internet without using a VPN? What are you doing? You're crazy! Honestly, I use Surfshark every single day of my life. Like, there's not a single day that goes by where I don't use their VPN. It is so worth the money. It just gives you peace of mind. Surfshark is recently becoming especially useful as a lot of content in the UK is geo-restricted, so you can't access it from here, whereas Surfshark can allow you to do that, whilst also keeping all of your personal details safe and sound. The best part about Surfshark is it doesn't break the bank, and one account can be used on unlimited devices, so you don't need to set up a new one for every single device you add. It's just dead easy and straightforward. And to motivate you even more to try out Surfshark, I've got a deal for you. Of course I have. Click the first link in the description or the pinned comment, or go to Surfshark and use the code Kirkham, and you will get 4 extra months free of Surfshark, courtesy of yours truly. Okay, you can thank us later when you're safe and sound browsing the internet, okay? Go for it, you won't regret it. TJ has now been told that she needs to eliminate 4 of the dads right now who she doesn't believe is her biological father. But it is interesting to hear from TJ's actual biological dad at this point. In his interview, he says that this is the worst moment of his life right now.
Naturally, the jealousy was these guys are trying to be a father to my daughter.
Could you imagine that feeling for her biological dad as well, though? Like, all of these men aren't her father, but they're basically telling her that, you know, they are, but you're her actual father, but you can't tell her. Like, that must feel so horrific, and you must feel so just, like, angry. That's how I would feel, especially with all these producers and everyone capitalizing off this situation and off your trauma. I can't wrap my head around how you could kind of go through that situation, because honestly, I don't think I would be strong enough to take part in this. Now, before TJ has to eliminate 4 of the potential fathers, she then gets taken to this secret room where they basically have CCTV cameras so she can look at all the dads, observe them when she's not there to kind of help with her decision-making process.
Trying to look at this monitor, and this monitor, trying to get as many clues as possible.
Honestly, this is like a DLC that Five Nights at Freddy's should make. Just switching between all the cameras to try to figure out who your real dad is. Yeah, that would be... Actually, don't make that if you are watching any of the devs from that company. Don't think that will go down well, okay? And I am really worried that TJ will eliminate her real dad at this point because she has no real clue about who it could be. She's analysing, like, what some of the dads are eating. Like, one of the dads starts to eat cherries and she says, oh, I don't like cherries, so very clearly he can't be my biological dad. It's all very baseless stuff she's basing this on because she has no information about her father, understandably. And you've also got to take into consideration that we can look at this from a logical standpoint and kind of, you know, really be kind of smart about this and be like, okay, that's possibly not because of this. Whereas she'll just be thinking with total emotion. And everyone watching this video knows that when you're like the one in the situation and you're the one emotionally driven by the outcome, your decision-making process changes so much. You just become so clouded. Now, after these few hours pass, TJ is then taken outside with all of the dads and she needs to eliminate 4 of them. And if she does somehow eliminate her real father, she loses 25k from the 100k prize fund, which again I think is hilarious because the money's not even mentioned one bit from TJ. Like, she's not even asked about the money. She just wants to find out who her dad was. And it got me thinking, like, why is there even prize money for TJ in this? But I wonder if it's because that was like how they convinced her to take part in it, because surely she would have needed so much convincing to actually agree to sign the contract to appear on this. Now, one by one, the men do come forward and she makes a decision on them.
Okay, Sam, when I first saw these 8 men and I saw you not be able to look at me, I don't feel that you're my father.
Yes! Fuck off, Sam! Stupid Sam! And you straight away. Wait, we don't know if it's true yet. But TJ, you've made the right decision there, love. That man couldn't deal with his decision to appear on this show and knew it straight away.
Carl, you look like the type of man that I feel my mother would choose. I feel you could be my father.
I'm telling you, if it is not called, there's going to be absolute ransom in this house. It's Halloween tonight and I'm going to be the one doing the trick. Shit crack. That sounded better in my head, and then I said it and I went, you know what, that's just, I shouldn't have said that, right? I should have listened to the internal thought. Apologies, guys. It will get better from here.
When I was at the cocktail party, I had a feeling from you that I was so confused. I don't feel that you could be my father.
Yeah, unlucky, Jerry. Right? Get back home.
You stand tall, and you kind of have my skin color. Yeah. I don't feel that you are my father, though.
Yeah, I think that one was pretty clear. Like, she wasn't even listening to him at the cocktail party. She'd kind of made a decision early doors on him.
Scott, when we were at the cocktail party, you were different than I imagined. But, Scott, I think you could be my father.
The more I watch of this show, the more I'm just like absolutely gobsmacked. I can't believe they haven't just told her yet. Like, this is still going on and we're only a third of the way in. TJ then finds out that her biological father is in the remaining 4 people that she chose to keep, which obviously means, more importantly, she gets to keep all of the £100,000, which is the main aim here, obviously.
I have to tell you that your father is in that group of men.
Oh, God.
Cole, I'm telling you, right? If you turn on the waterworks once more, my friend, and it's not you, every opportunity that man is crying to her. Every opportunity. He's twisted. I mean, he could be the dad, right? And then I come off terribly. But I just don't believe it is. I just can't. Something about him just seems off. Oh, I wish I knew who it was. This point got me thinking as well, because obviously, you know, TJ is just so high on emotion right now and is just like desperate to find out who her real dad is. Like, if this show was created in 2025, obviously it wouldn't be. But they would somehow fake it or dramatize it, like you see with so many reality TV shows, such as like Married at First Sight. The way they edit it, they pair like reactions that actually don't go to what's happened to make it seem like more drama's going on than it actually is. However, back then in 2005, they just shot it raw and real and actually just hurt these people for fun. I know a lot of people, myself included, definitely prefer this era of reality TV, but this show I definitely don't. This is excruciating. Now at this point, all of the dads that got voted out actually reveal their true identity and they changed their names and everything to appear on this show.
DJ, I'm Ed, Los Angeles, California. Follow your dreams always.
Thank you.
Follow your dreams? Oh, you're just a motivational speaker now, are you? You couldn't even look her in the eyes about 2 minutes ago. Follow your dreams. I bloody will. I'll be murdering you, son. That's my dream now. Bloody follow your dreams. Calm down, Stephen Bartlett. Christ.
Hey, I'm Craig. I'm from Norco, California, and I'm a salesman.
Wow, you should try acting.
I feel like TJ's being far too nice to these men personally. She owes them nothing.
My real name is Robert McPhair. I live in North Hollywood, California, and it's sure been wonderful being part of your journey.
Part of her journey. Is that what you're calling this? Oh yeah, it was just great to like assist you in finding who your real dad was, right? I actually didn't really want to win. Yeah, okay, that's why you appeared on the show, son. To help her, did you? We all believe you.
And I almost picked you. We had the same skin and the same smile and the same eyes.
I was working it, you know.
I was trying to stop you see your real dad. What am I like, honestly? This is crazy, you know? Just great to be a part of it, really. Just been a great day out.
Guys, you were wonderful. Thank you very much.
No, they weren't. They were awful. Wonderful. This is wonderful. The bar is literally on the floor if this is wonderful. Oh, guys, you've been a pleasure. Guys, you've been amazing. You'd be, you know, anyone would be lucky to have a dad like you. Bloody wonderful. My arse. Now, after this, the host then dampens TJ's spirits a little bit.
It's not going to get any easier because we've got a few surprises for you.
Oh, no.
Just tell her. Just tell her. Like, how can it get worse than this? Can it? I can't wait to see, but I don't believe it. You can literally just tell her, you know. Like, you can. You can just say, oh, by the way, that one is your real dad. You want to go and, like, hug and, like, talk about, like, all of the years you haven't been together? The thing is, as well, like, when the camera pans to the 4 remaining dads that are left, I genuinely have no idea who it is because you can kind of analyse all of their reactions. Some of them are smiling, some of them are crying, some of them aren't really giving any reaction at all. And you can make a point as to why each of them would be the real dad. Honestly, it's so confusing at this point. I have no idea. The only person who I'm hoping it is the guy that keeps crying in her face. Now, after this, the show progresses to the next day, and at this point, TJ has been a little bit more convinced that Scott's her real dad. That's who she's been leaning towards. However, today, she's now leaning towards Charlie.
Everyone was the same, except one man. And he stood there like this, almost to say, I'm proud of you, daughter. And that was Charlie.
Like, he's given me no indication that he could be her father, but maybe he's just really, you know, taken back by the process. He just seems to be the one showing the least amount of emotion, personally. And he very much could be her father, but I do feel like TJ is saying things that she wants to believe rather than actually believing them at this point. And this is why this concept is so cruel, because it's making her, like, have hope that certain people could be her dad, and for a lot of years she's had no hope that she could find her dad. And everybody knows that when you kind of build yourself up to have a little bit of hope about something and it gets ruined, it makes it so much worse. And that's why a lot of people kind of just stop themselves getting hopeful about things so they don't get hurt. However, this show is really making TJ vulnerable, and hopefully she is going to find out who her real dad is. But again, just put her through this process. She's going to need therapy after this, even if she does find her real dad. Like, how is she ever going to trust anybody ever again if this is what she's been through? Now the show starts this day off by setting TJ a challenge. She basically gets revealed to her that her dad was a great dancer back in the day. Apparently he'd won competitions, so she takes them all to a bar and she kind of watches them all dance one-on-one in front of her, and I guess she has to just evaluate who's got the best moves and who could be her dad.
Charlie.
What the fuck is going on? Oh yeah, you want to prove that you're the dad of this woman? Well, you better dance battle it out, sir. Fucking... I'm your father. Yeah, I am. Right? Would your father be able to do this? Yes, he would, because I'm your dad. Oh, I'm your daddy. What is this? The best dancer wins her? The best dancer gets to call themselves dad. This is how they should do it in Strictly Come Dancing, okay? The winner gets to find out who their biological parents are. Strictly Come Dancing? Eh? Nah, shit, cracking it again. All right, we're getting there. We're trying. This is a weird show.
It was so great.
He's pretty good, to be fair.
Rick feels like a wonderful spirit. He's just willing to...
Nah, Rick's very limited. Very limited. He's doing the same dance. He's like... Sorry, now, Rick, what is this? Like, what are we doing? It's almost like you're trying to walk through a door in GTA, but you can't do it. Or like jump over like a fence, but it's just not unlocked yet. Could you imagine being an alien coming onto this earth and this is one of the first things that you witness about the human race? I feel like you would just kind of leave. You'd be like, yeah, these guys just aren't really that evolved yet. They're dancing to prove that they're the dad of their daughters. I just don't think that we're ready to, you know, inhabit on this planet yet.
Carl, I thought the dancing was hilarious.
What is he doing? What is that? Is that dancing? Could you imagine if you worked at this bar and, like, you know, they've obviously rang to be like, oh, can we book the, you know, the dance floor out? Oh, yeah, what you need it for? Oh, basically, we've got 4 men that are trying to prove that they're the dad of a girl that got adopted when she was 6 weeks old. Is that okay? Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's fine. No worries. We'll get it sorted. Now, after this, TJ says that she's really convinced that it's either Carl or Scott, but you can tell she really is struggling to find out who it really is.
It's weird because it's hard to forget his look after he danced. Like, I'll do whatever it takes for you.
I don't think he did look like that, love. And again, even though you have the funny, light-hearted parts like the dance battle, you're often reminded about how cruel this show is when you actually hear TJ talk in private and how much this is actually affecting her. And she's kind of just putting on a brave face just for the show. She's consistently saying things that have no basis, but she wants to believe. Like, she's reading into this what she wants to read into it rather than actually reading into it. And it's because, like I mentioned before, she's not thinking about this logically, because how could anybody in this situation think about this logically? You can only go off emotion, and emotions obviously don't make you think the best. Now, after this weird challenge, TJ is then taken back into this secret room in the mansion, and she's set up at a computer, and she's told that her actual biological dad is on a computer in another secret room, ready to speak to her over text message. So she gets left alone and they start messaging. Just quickly, donuts, if you haven't already, please do press the subscribe button. We are trying to hit 1 million subscribers on this channel. 1 million donuts in the community. So if you want to be a part of that club, press the button and you'll have plenty of videos like this to binge watch when you're bored.
Okay, tell me what I need to know. I called you sweetheart the very first day I picked you up.
Brother, just say, oh, by the way, I'm this person. Or I'm Rick. That's who I am. Why are we being so cryptic about it? Why are we speaking in riddles? Like we're trying to fool the Batman? Just say! I know contractually you probably can't, but surely this is bigger than that. Are they really going to sue you for this? I doubt it. That would make them even more evil.
And I learned that is the first word that he's ever said to me.
You know what's even worse is the show have like actually changed his name to Daddy as well, just to make it just extra kind of just in the back of the heart.
Why did my birth mom pick you?
Thanks, because we were a match to be made.
What happens if she's not actually speaking to her dad here and this is just some sort of like really early AI chatbot that is just giving her the most vague answers, because this is what it seems like at this point.
Very proud of you for the way you handled yourself when all the fathers came out to meet you. It hurt me to see pain in your heart.
This is... like, I genuinely feel like crying here. This is actually so torturous for this woman. And I really, you know, think it must be horrible for the dad as well. It's not just TJ. Obviously, she is the one kind of getting put under the microscope and is probably suffering the most here. But very clearly, the dad has been told that he can't reveal the information that he really wants to, and he has to kind of talk very cryptically.
At the end of the IM, and when he wrote that I'm gonna get you for that dancing, Rick is the only one that said that.
You'll be sorry you did this.
Rick was the fourth choice.
Genuinely, her last choice, she now has as her first choice. Who have we got? We've got Scott, we've got Rick, we've got Charlie, and we've got the crying man. I forgot his name. I'm just going to call him Crying Man from now on because that's all we see him do. So far, honestly, I do believe it is Crying Man because I don't feel like there's enough from any of the other people that is, you know, that would persuade me that it's them. I'm just going off, surely if you saw your daughter who you haven't seen since 6 weeks old, every time you see her you would cry, especially in this situation. That's why I'm going with Crying Man. Now after they finish exchanging messages, you see TJ just sitting there for like, you know, quite a while afterwards, just reading through all the messages again, just kind of, you know, staring at the screen for so long, because obviously this means so much to her and she's never had contact ever in her life. Like obviously you're just going to like read so much into every single message, you're going to overthink every word. You can see on her face that she's been crying, and even her biological dad in his interviews is crying as well.
I just want her to see who I am. I just don't want to hold back, so she knows that I'm her father.
It's wild because this is just over halfway through the show, and the production team was still like, yeah, we've got a banger here. This is just unreal. This is going to be the next big hit. Oh, we're going to take down Big Brother with this, honestly. After this, TJ then straight away has to go and take out 2 of the dads she doesn't think it is. By take out, I just mean remove, not actually kill, although I would be up for that. And she decides to keep Scott and Charlie. Now, I am really shocked at this point because I'm fully in the camp that it's Crying Man, who I've now found out is called Carl. And I'm actually hoping it is him for his sake because otherwise he has been very manipulative in this. I know the whole thing is a game show and you're meant to, you know, kind of pull the illusion over her eyes, but I just feel like crying every time you see her is taking it too far. After TJ eliminates these 2 people, the host tells her if she's right in keeping the 2 she did. Please say she is, please.
I have to tell you that your dad is...
She's got it wrong.
In fact, in this group, you are correct. Congratulations.
Wait, so it wasn't Crying Man? You little rat! I said I was going to give you a piece of my mind, son. I'm going to find your social media and give you a nasty DM. I'm not, but I'm thinking about it. That's the main thing. You bastard! Every time you saw her, you cried and it wasn't even you. Could never be me. Could never be me. That is actually, like, scary. Genuinely, as soon as I found out this information, I got a shiver down my spine. That is actually mental. The fact that he cried every time he seen her. I need a second. What? You're joking. I'm in shock. Carl, you little bastard, son. Imagine if that was your partner. Like, how could you trust him ever again? And the worst part is obviously Carl is not actually called Carl because they all come into this with secret identities, which they reveal now.
My name is Steve Peterson, and I'm a singer-songwriter, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, that's your career finished, son. Can't say your fans being happy with this performance. Oh, yeah, I really love singers when they, like, pretend to be people that were adopted dads. That's just my niche of music, really.
My name is Don Gilmore. I live in Simi Valley, and I wish the 2 of you may the most that you wish for be the least that you get.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Don. With the live, laugh, love quote. Thank you. Right, I'll hang that on me mantelpiece when I get home, you bloody bastard, you. Shh. We've heard enough from you, son. To be fair, to make this more balanced, maybe he was crying because he realised that this was really messed up and like he couldn't take it emotionally. So every single time, you know, they were on camera, he was just kind of crying because this was too overwhelming for him. I am trying to keep this balanced, but it's really hard to see it from these guys' point of views, all of the liars especially. Now, after TJ guessed correctly, she then gets shown a video from her biological dad's best friend. So I'm kind of lucky it wasn't Rick, because obviously it would be like 20 people recording this video, right? He's everyone's best friend, as we know. It would have just give the game away, if anything. Anyway, this best friend talks about how hard it was for TJ's dad to give her up when she was 6 weeks. And the stuff that this guy reveals is actually really disturbing. So he basically says that TJ's biological dad really wanted to keep her, but he was drafted into the military to go and serve overseas. However, he actually got leave so that he could be there for the birth, and he like grabbed her and went to walk out the door. However, the people that were involved within the military stopped him because obviously he needs to go back to war. So he actually couldn't do anything, and TJ was taken off him. Like, you know, it wasn't his decision. Like, he really wanted to keep her, which obviously makes it even more horrific for TJ because, you know, she's kind of been robbed of that connection with her biological dad, and it wasn't even his fault.
On the other hand, it makes me hurt inside because I know that my dad was going through a lot of hurt.
And this is one thing that anybody, you know, that has been through any sort of thing with parents or any sort of issues like this, is this stuff really doesn't, you know, it doesn't just go away, and it affects you growing up, and it affects your relationships with other people, and it makes you kind of, you know, feel angry. But not angry in like an aggressive way. It just makes you have this like, it's like a feeling that it's almost hard to describe. It's almost like a, you know, like a, I can't even describe it, but it definitely makes you grow up in a different way. And I definitely feel like people can go one of two ways. If you've been through this, you can become quite bitter, and you could look at families and be like, oh, I never want that, I just want to be on my own. Or you become the type of person that is like, oh my God, like I would die to have, you know, like a nuclear kind of family like this. Like that would be my dream. And very clearly you can see that TJ has went down that kind of side and isn't bitter and just really kind of wants to have a connection with a family. Now after this point, the show just keeps getting more deeper and disturbing, as TJ now gets one-on-one time with both of the remaining dads, Scott and Charlie. Voice break, thank you very much. Perfect timing. And she also says that she finally gets to ask the question that she's wanted to know her entire life. Now she is going to get the answer to this question, which you're going to see, but the most alarming thing about this is one of the guys has to make up a lie about this, because one of the guys is still lying. Like, how can you still be in this process at this point and still keep up the act without just feeling like a terrible human being?
Good evening, TJ.
Hi. Oh.
This is for later. Please sit down.
Scott, oh fella, it better be you. If you've brought her a cuddly dog, it better be you, son. Don't buy that woman a cuddly thing if you don't intend to love her.
Get an opportunity to ask what happened. Why did you guys have to give me a front option?
I feel like I'm just gonna... Do you guys mind if you just watch this by yourself? Can I just sit down here and just kind of observe? Can you do the reactions now? Can you break this down? Because honestly, I can't take this. Genuinely, I can't take this anymore. This is my limit here, and I'm here, okay? I've been surviving above my limit for the past 10 minutes. This is out of my comfort zone, never mind TJ's. Will anyone think about me?
I'd already made the decision to go into Vietnam. We weren't sure what was going to happen, and she wasn't going to be able to take care of you by herself. And so she made the decision, and I accepted it.
You've got to be some sort of psychopath if you're lying about this, right? Like, it has to be Scott at this point. Like, you just can't, to someone's face who this happened to, you can't just lie about this. Like, I just don't believe a human can do that. Maybe I am just kind of like sheltered, right, that someone would do this, but surely not. Surely to their face.
I want you to know you were conceived in absolute love, and I loved your mother very, very much. There wasn't a day that went by that I didn't think about you and regret what we did.
Are you serious?
Okay, it's Scott. It has to be this guy. Like, the emotion, unless again this guy is like, you know, in the next Hollywood blockbuster that comes out, this guy is playing like a Leonardo DiCaprio role right now. It has to be him. He's emotional, he's specific, It makes sense. Please don't let me down, Scott. I mean, we still need to hear from Charlie, you know, but I think I'm convinced at this point.
You mentioned your German short-hair retriever, and I couldn't find a German joint here.
I like labs.
I know you did, so I thought that would do, and I want you to have it.
Now, the dog kind of puts me off a little bit because I'm like, wait, is he trying too hard here? Or is this just something that a dad would really do because he loves that he can see his daughter? I don't know, because now I'm thinking if he is a psychopath, he's probably thinking, well, I'm going to win £100,000. So what's 20 quid? Right, if I just buy this dog, like, that's going to convince her to win that. I'll call it an investment, all right? If he is a psychopath. But if he is the dad, it also makes... I'm as lost as you. I think I am. I need to hear Charlie's side now.
Hi, BJ. How are you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Why are they all bringing gifts? What is this? The three wise men going to see Jesus? Oh yeah, I've brought frankincense with me. Well, I've got some bloody hell.
They finally let me go. I was going. It didn't make a difference. I was 18. I even named you.
Damn me, Michelle.
Fuck, I'm starting to cry. This okay, it's Charlie. It's not Scott, it's Charlie. The minor details make such a difference here. Like that, they are such small details, whereas kind of Scott was kind of specific, but not like this specific where, like, you know, saying I named you, like the ages of us at the time, and like getting stopped from like leaving. This all matches up with what his best friend said.
But this is the picture that I've had in my mind for the last 20 years. And it says, tell me, Michelle, as I see you in my dreams.
Oh.
Love, Dad.
Bro, this is, you know, we've reacted to some cruel shows on this TV show. Some really bad ones. I don't even think there's, you know, anything comes in the same league as this. This is just like emotional cruelty. That's our word it is now, on a new level. The fact the cameraman's like, yeah, just zoom in on that. There we go. Glad we put the zoom lens on this, going from 70 to 200 mil. Like, the guy's had this for 20 years, he said. This is the image he's got of her. It's him. It's him. One of these men is a psychopath, and one of these men is a man I feel so sorry for.
I want to give this to you. I want to thank you for your time.
Now, we are soon going to see which one of these two men it is, but like I said in the intro of this video, after they actually reveal who the dad is, the show then drops an even bigger bombshell on TJ. Just wait for that one. But honestly, at this point, I don't know who she's going to pick. It seemed like she had a lot more of an emotional connection with Charlie. I feel like she can just feel some sort of energy with him, so I am leaning towards him at this point. But Scott has been a favourite pretty much the entire time, so that's going to be hard to kind of break that barrier down. Now, before TJ actually can find out who her real biological dad is, she has to pick who she thinks it is, because obviously we've got this weird prize fund that is the most important thing to the producers.
I do not want to choose wrong because I did not want my dad to think this was not important to me.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to think that. If he is really your dad and really loves you, he's going to know how much of a horrific position you've been put in. Also, what happens if she does pick wrong? Do they just like never tell her who her real dad is? Obviously she knows it's one of these two, but does he just kind of go off home and then she has to just kind of track him down? Like, how high are the stakes here? That's what I want to know. Do they kill him? So many questions. Also, whoever it is not, I feel like TJ is well within her rights to, you know, just punch him in the nose. After the performance in that one-on-one chat, I feel like she deserves to get her own back. Now, she does take hours to pick between these two. I definitely feel like it's on a knife edge, but she does eventually pick one. And it's now time to see if she actually was right with her decision in who she picked. Also, guys, please do drop a like if you haven't already. It helps me out very much. Thank you very much.
When the door opens, your real biological father will walk out and you will be reunited. You go up and approach the door and you address him.
Okay.
Wait, who do you think it is? Like, you've got to put in the comments and then you've got to edit it and see if you're right. I'm going to go for... Actually, I would have said Scott, but I feel like after that conversation, I have to go Charlie. I wasn't saying any of these two, but now we've got these two. I'm saying Charlie. I feel like he was too specific. Okay. This is horrific.
When I walked out, you think I missed the way you stood there with pride? And I figure that's what you would want your daughter to be like.
Can they not open the door? Like, surely this would be a much better conversation if they could see each other. Like, it's pretty weird that you're saying this to a silhouette right now and you don't even know, you know, which one of these two it is.
I believe that my father is Charlie.
Composure. right? Okay, good choice, right? Love, this is horrific, and I don't know how you're so strong that you're in this position. I think you've made the right decision. Personally, I think you're right. Who is it? Oh, it is! Oh. Why am I getting so into this? This show's so cruel. I fell victim to it. Oh my God. I am so happy it is. But also, this is amazing that she's picked right, but my mind straight away is going to how cruel Scott was, that he made up that whole fake entire story just so he could win the money. Like, that man is evil. The essence of evil.
Sweetheart, I'm home.
Why couldn't they have just done this in the first 5 minutes, and then the show would have been a lot shorter, and then we could have just seen what they did after they, finished being at this mansion? I feel like that would have been such a more wholesome show, and you would have actually have got a lot more episodes out of that concept. It wouldn't have been cancelled after one pilot episode. Bloody hell.
Please forgive me for the pain that I've caused you.
No, you're forgiven. 100% forgiven.
Now, it is an interesting debate what you think about the dad, like even agreeing to be on this show, but my only thing that I can think of is that this was the only way that they were going to be able to be together. So from their perspectives, if you go on this show and you're guaranteed to meet, your daughter or your dad, you're probably going to take this opportunity if you've had no hope previously in the last 20 years. It does make sense to agree to be on this, and I don't think it necessarily makes either of them bad people, especially not TJ. I just, again, think it's evil that the people in charge of producing this show just kind of withheld that information from them and used it against them and kind of, blackmailed them with it to be on the show. Now, weirdly, Charlie actually reveals his real identity, and he's not actually called Charlie at all. So he's also had to play a character, which I don't really get why. Because TJ didn't even know the name of her father, so it's not like it would have made a difference.
So I can't think of a better time to actually introduce this gentleman to you.
My name is Robert Francis Lane.
Wow.
Like, why did he have to play a character? So was he being himself there, or was he just kind of, playing this character, but he actually was the dad? That is one thing that I really feel like is broken about this. Because everyone else was faking it, so why did he have to fake it as well? I also love that the hosts are trying to get in the middle here and be like, oh, isn't this amazing? The three of us were right here. No, love, get out. Haven't you done enough? Now, right in the middle of them holding each other, like catching up, just, being in the moment, the host then tells them there's one more person they need to say goodbye to. And who do you think it is? Bloody Scott.
TJ, my real name is John Robbins. I'm very proud of having been a part of this journey that you've been on.
I'm very glad you were. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Don't hug him. Get off her. Go away. You've just lied to her for a week, you awful human. You made a story up about how she was adopted. Fuck off. Oh, I'm just so grateful to be in this experience with you. No, you're not. You wanted the money, you evil cow. Get out. We thank you for nothing. We never want to see your face around here anymore. Hug it up. This reminds me of that scene in Prisoner of Azkaban, when Wormtail gets exposed and then he tries to go and talk to Harry, and Sirius Black's like, no, get off. You don't deserve to talk to him. That's what Charlie should have done. He's not even called Charlie. God. Confused. Now, after this, TJ and her dad, Robert, that's what he's called, sit down and they watch a video that Robert has made. He basically details his life. He talks about his family, who is now going to be TJ's family. He explains how he now has a wife that is not TJ's birth mom, and he also has 3 daughters who are now obviously going to be TJ's sisters. And you can see on TJ's face, this is obviously very overwhelming. Like, she's just found out who her biological dad is after all these men lied to her. Now she's finding out that all of these people are now going to be her family. Like, just think about how overwhelming and how just like mental that would be. You almost wouldn't be able to take it all in. You would probably kind of just feel like you're in some sort of trance or like a blur or something, because you've got to remember, like, she's been through this for like 20 years and she's probably felt a hole that, is now slowly being filled. But while it's being filled, she's going to be experiencing so many new emotions. Now, what's even wilder, after she learned about her new sisters, they actually come out of like a door to meet her.
You're all so beautiful. And TJ.
You're beautiful, beautiful young lady.
Thank you for allowing your dad to do this.
Oh my gosh. You can tell how sweet she is, and obviously, like, everything in her childhood has kind of led up to her being who she is, obviously. And because she's constantly been told that she's insignificant and she, you know, she's not really a part of the family by other family members have told her this, she's obviously adapted this kind of personality where all she wants is appreciation, and she's just so kind to people, and she's almost like a people pleaser in a way. Like, she's just so thankful to anybody that shows her any sort of kindness. Now, after she meets her sisters, they then all sit down and continue to watch the tape, and her dad talks about her birth mom, who obviously she knows nothing about.
I first met Bobby Jean at the beginning of the junior year. She was a cheerleader and I was a jock. Dated for a long time, and when we found out she was pregnant.
This is mad. And all I keep thinking about is that there's probably like 20 people behind the cameras just all witnessing just TJ learn about her life just in live. Like, I can't imagine the feeling in this room right now. Now, I did say that the show has an even bigger bombshell, arguably, than the social experiment that has just taken place. And this happens right now as TJ's birth mom then comes out of the door to meet her.
I want you to meet your birth mom.
Bro, I honestly feel like I'm standing in the South Pole right now. Like, my body feels like it's like 30 degrees. I feel like I'm going to collapse. I feel like I haven't had enough iron. I need to eat a cucumber or something. I feel like I'm going to faint. One question. Why couldn't they have just did this with her dad from the start? Like, why did they have to put her through all of the trauma to find her dad? But with her mom, they're like, we'll just let her meet her. Like, you know, it's not that significant. What would have been good, right, if I was in the production meeting, what I would have said is, we should have said at this point to her, okay, you want to meet your mom? Well, here's 8 women that could be your mom, but only one is. So yeah, let's go through this again. Who's your mommy? The sequel. That would have been extra cruel, to be fair. Like, genuinely, I wouldn't have covered this video if they've done it twice. I think she would have actually had a heart attack. You can see even the emotion on Robert's face, though. Like, this is, you know, one of the most significant days they'll ever have in their entire lifetimes.
I was just elated, and it was one of the greatest moments of my life.
Genuinely, like, I haven't felt this emotion since I watched, like, Avengers Endgame, and strangely, this is very similar to it. Like, it's all the people coming through the portals, but it's just all of TJ's family. A little bit more underwhelming in terms of, like, a masterpiece, but again, a lot more emotional. I would rather see TJ's birth mom come out of a portal than, you know, Captain America or something like that, or Ant-Man. Just my personal thoughts. There would have been an extra curveball if, like, they just introduced her to Ant-Man or someone like that as well. I'd be like, whoa, what the hell? They're just bringing out anyone at this point. And it's the midwife who helped your mother conceive.
I didn't want you to go, and the parents got together, and they said, you guys aren't married, you know, you got school to finish, and I cried for 3 days. I went into probably shock my whole life.
Now, although this is really horrific, I do think it would bring some comfort to TJ knowing that both her parents, her birth parents, really wanted to see her, and they've tried, and, you know, they've been in trauma ever since they've had to give her up. I think that would bring some comfort knowing, you know, they did really want you, you know, and it would help her kind of come to terms with what's happened and help her, like, instantly you've got a connection. Because if they were kind of like, oh, look, I didn't really want to have a kid, like, whatever, then you're kind of on the back foot. But instantly you can feel the warmth of our two parents. Now, after they embrace a little bit more, the show actually ends at this point. Now, like I said, this show is the most controversial concept and just the cruelest concept ever, and I definitely wouldn't want to watch more episodes of this. Like, even if there were more episodes, I wouldn't cover that. Even if this video did better than any other video, this was one of the hardest watches I've ever had to do. Like, this isn't reality entertainment, this is just cruelty on another level. It's taking advantage of people's trauma so you can make kind of money off it. And honestly, I don't know how this passed, you know, all of the checks. I know back then in reality TV shows there was a lot less kind of, you know, talked about regarding mental health and all of that, and something like this couldn't air today whatsoever. But it just shows the lack of empathy that production studios had for the people that they would have on their TV shows at this point. Now, you are probably wondering, like, what happened after this got aired? Well, they actually had filmed 6 episodes that were meant to go live after this one did, but instantly they got shelved as the response to this was honestly so bad, and rightly so. A woman called Deborah Capone actually made a petition which got 5,000 signatures and messages messages straight to Fox for them to cancel the entire season after this episode landed. They basically all said that they don't think adoption should be made into a game show, and obviously that is so correct. It says here that the producers of the show insisted the concept came from only good intentions, noting that the participants, their biological parents and their adoptive parents were all on board with the project. Now, I think they were probably on board because they knew that you had information which was going to hook them all back together. They probably weren't on board with the concept, they just knew they had to do the concept because yous were withholding the information from them. It came from a very pure place, not from a place of trying to embarrass or harm anyone. Now, obviously that is just so untrue and just such a media kind of trained answer to give. And I do think the producers actually thought that this was a successful concept because 6.3 million people watched this live, which is pretty huge for the pilot of a game show. Game show, I say very lightly. And what is even more disturbing about this is this episode aired on Father's Day. Like, they picked Father's Day out of any day to pick. Why would you do that? Like, any day to air this show is horrific, but on Father's Day is like next level cruelty as well. And obviously after all the remaining episodes were shelved, they never actually aired. There's no footage of these. This is the only known footage of the show. So make sure that you tell people to watch this video, guys, because this could get taken down and they need to see it before, you know, it goes away. Now, you might be wondering, like, what did TJ go on to do after appearing on this? Well, she actually featured in many movies. She has a full IMDb page if you did want to check it out. She was in Elephant Stomp, in 3 Dragon, and The Boss Man, 3 movies I haven't seen, but you know, it's nice that she continued her career on the screen because I imagine a lot of people after appearing on this would have been a little bit traumatized and never wanted to be in the public eye ever again. I did try and dive deeper to find out, like, you know, interviews or anything like that if she talked about the show, but she hadn't talked about the show recently. I have found a YouTube channel which is a bit like manic, I'd say. She's got like 9 videos and her last one is this.
Lucy Lipinski here with the K-Herd. That's K-H-E-R-D, the Big Herd. Did you pack on an extra 50 pounds?
So as you can see, she's doing great. But it's nice to see she still has, you know, her kind of character and her personality, and that hasn't kind of been driven out of her. I have tried to see if she has, you know, built a relationship with her birth mother or her birth father. I couldn't find anything at all, really. She did announce on her Facebook page that her mother had died. I'm unsure if that is her birth mother or her adopted mother. But either way, you know, that is obviously very sad for her. But I do just really hope that TJ and Robert and obviously her birth mum all kind of worked it out after the show because, you know, they deserve to be happy, and the way that they had to find out about each other was so cruel, and I really hope they've helped each other through that. But yeah, Donuts, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I really am trying to create a niche within these shows that were cancelled after 1 episode, so let me know if you do enjoy them. Like, drop a like as well. It just really helps me kind of gauge if I should continue with this. And also, if you want to watch my previous video on a TV show that got cancelled after its first episode, click this video right here. Honestly, it's like Wife Swap on steroids. It is mental.